Hey, thanks for clicking on the video. I'll get right to it. So last week, I said on YouTube Shorts and on a previous video that it seemed as if Christian Horner had been exonerated. And when I said that, that's what I read. I read it on Twitter, a few other places, that it seemed as if he was found to be not guilty of any sort of heinous managerial workplace activity. And the news was only mostly coming out of Dutch media, which is interesting in itself. But I didn't see much from traditional UK F1 media. And it seemed like as if there wasn't too much talk going on about the issue. And that's where I left it. I thought we were getting on with the season. And it turns out I was kind of wrong, as somebody, anonymous, sent out a trove of information via WhatsApp to FIA people, to media people, and to all the team principals, which to me is kind of astonishing. Who has that contact list? Honestly, I mean, maybe people do have all of the contact information for FIA and team principals and select members of the media, but typically that's somebody higher up or somebody with enough power to quietly exert that kind of a unique leverage. So I think that's kind of a question that we really need to ask: is who came up with all of this contact info in order to disseminate all of this wild information? Now, I've seen samples of it on Reddit, maybe some brave people posting on Twitter. Christian Horner's legal team has said that they would seek legal means to halt the sharing of this kind of information and perhaps chase after and penalize people who do share these screenshots of text messages. So I don't even know if they're real or not. Some of the text messages, they feel kind of tame. I feel more like an annoying person who just simply cannot accept no for an answer. But I also put this out there that I've only seen about 3 or 4 screenshots. So Lord knows what else is out there. Or Lord knows what else was said, to be honest with you. So these sample shots are perhaps an introduction to what other people have seen. And this seems to be a storm that is only brewing more and more. The winds are picking up and it is becoming fierce very quickly. We now see that Jos Verstappen and Christian Horner are reportedly not doing well. Jos is Max's dad, and we're not really sure about how close Jos is to Max in terms of how he decides his future in the sport. But it's fair to say that your father, whom you are close to, whom led you all the way to the Redbull seat, still has some influence over how you feel about your workplace and where you would like to work next, and or whether you'd like to stay or not. So that's something to consider. Now, there are people out there like Damon Hill who said that this needs to really be resolved quickly. And he's right, it should be. That would be the best option overall. Most people agree on that. There are people like Gerhard Berger out there who are saying things like Helmut Marko are out, and that Jos is out, and that they're going to take Max, and Max will be gone, and Max will most likely wind up in a place like Mercedes. Now you might think to yourself, Mercedes, that's unusual. That's something most people didn't see. That's most people don't see that at all. And now I'm one of them. I would never have thought that somebody like Max could compete for Mercedes, but it's possible. It's happened before. Lewis left McLaren when McLaren was still fighting for podiums, and he went to Mercedes himself when Mercedes wasn't, and it turned out to be the right move. And these regulations that Red Bull are thriving in right now are due to end at the end of 2025. So it's a clean slate. And what are the chances that Mercedes gets it wrong 2 regulation settings in a row? I doubt that's going to happen. Also, Ford has mentioned that they would like for this to be cleaned up, and they should. Any large manufacturer that's looking to get involved in a sport as high profile as F1, they don't want to be involved with this kind of thing. It's something that you wouldn't want. Ford doesn't necessarily need F1. They can walk away and make their billions elsewhere. But this is a really excellent opportunity to get into partnership with a successful team. And if it's easy to clean up the person who seems to be at the source of this mess, then maybe Ford has a right to request that this matter be dealt with swiftly so that they can make a decision whether they would like to stay or go. Ultimately, what's Christian Horner going to do? It seems like as if he's digging in his heels and he's relying on the co-founder of Redbull, who owns 51% of the company, and thus has most of the power over the board, that doesn't seem to like him very much. Will he dig in his heels? Is it ultimately going to be about Christian Horner, or is it going to be about the health of the entire team and the vision of the entire team and its long-term future? We're finding more and more about people like Christian Horner when a crisis hits. Where's their character at? I don't really know. If he's safe and he knows that he did no wrong, perhaps he has a right to dig in his heels. But based on some of what we're seeing between Jos Verstappen and Helmut Marko and the board, and some of these supposed screenshots, I don't know how innocent he actually is. And of course, we always have to take into account that at the end of the story, there is an accuser involved. And we have to take the accuser's accusation seriously. And the accuser does have a right to pursue this in a different venue if they don't get the justice that they seek. Ultimately, what will the team as a whole do? This is it's kind of a really important inflection point. They're at the height of their success. They've never been more dominant than they are now. Are they going to keep it together? Are they going to figure out a way how to get through this with or without their current team principal? There's a title on the table, and it is all theirs this year, and perhaps next year too. But it's more than just that. It's about the future of the entire racing team. Well, who knows? Thanks for checking out the video, and I hope you have an awesome day. Don't forget to check out my web store. I'm a Formula One artist in the notes down below. And subscribe.